The Accountant is directed by Gavin O'Connor and stars Ben Affleck, J.K. Simmons, Anna Kendrick, and Jon Bernthal. As a massive event undercooks the books for a new client, the Treasury Department closes in on his activities and the body count starts to rise. I remember hearing about this film back when it first came out in 2016, and I heard a lot of mixed things about it, but I did eventually get a chance to watch it, and I had a really good time with it. I thought it was a great film. I thought some of the action was really good, the characters were engaging, and the overall look and aesthetic and cinematography of the film really did impress me. And so I thought I'd give this film a rewatch with a sequel coming out, which I did get a chance to watch pretty early, and all in all, I have to say, this film still holds up pretty well, especially 9 years later. I think the characters are really engaging. Like, Ben Affleck as Christian Wolf is brilliant in this film. This is a more calm performance from Ben Affleck, where he has to make himself feel subdued and quiet and a bit naive of the world around him, but not enough to not be dumb. He is smart at his work, he knows what he's doing, and whenever he's focused on the task, he is focused. But the film asks what happens when a man like this, who is so focused and determined to get this task done, is forced to quit, but he doesn't want to. We see how this affects Christian Wolf mentally, as he's someone with a particular kind of autism that prevents him from being able to take things at face value and drop things like usual, like most other people would if they have to. He needs to get things done. He cannot focus on anything else if one part of something isn't finished. He wants to make sure everything is in its right place, so does the trailer song says. And with this job that he was now given being taken away, and he's not being able to allow the chance to finish it, what's he supposed to do? And so we see throughout the entire film how Christian Wolf is trying to deal with this situation mentally, as a lot of this stems from a lot of childhood trauma in which family is like almost not there. Like, it is, but it is slowly breaking away, and we see how that affects him and his brother and his father, in terms of how his mother essentially left all of them for another family. Like, she couldn't handle who these people are, and so we spend a good amount of these flashbacks focusing on these two brothers learning how to be strong and strong-minded and physically trained by their father. And we see how these two characters have become hardened people over the years. Anna Kendrick plays his assistant, and she is really good in the film and brings a lot of humanity to Christian Wolf's character and gives him someone to be able to bounce off of and be able to somewhat stay a bit in reality and be human, be allowed to make flaws, and she serves that role pretty well for him as someone who is able to support him and help him try and figure out this problem that's going on right now. And I think Anna Kendrick is really good here. I think her role fits pretty well, though she can overact a little bit at times when it comes to her being in danger. But for the most part, I think Anna Kendrick here was a good character, but J.K. Simmons, really fantastic. I wish there was more of him trying to look into what Christian Wolf's backstory is, but whenever we do get him, he is incredible. And I love this little monologue that he gives about his past and what he's been doing near the end of the film, that basically brings the whole film full circle, and now we understand what is really going on. All in all, he is fantastic, and I love his character and how determined he is to try and find Christian Wolf. And Jon Bernthal is amazing too. As little screen time as he does get, whenever he is on screen, he absolutely steals the show. He oozes coolness and badassery in every scene and every line he gives, and is just one of my favorite characters, and I was so happy to see that he was going to be in a major role in the sequel with Ben Affleck, and it's going to be about these two brothers trying to reconnect once again. I cannot wait to talk about The Accountant 2. If I do have any problems with the film, it has to be some of the pacing. Sometimes it can drag a little too long. Sometimes it can be a bit too overstuffed with plot, and it can take you out of the experience in terms of believability and with the information it gives you. And I think that is around near the end of the film where it starts to feel a little bit set up-y for another film. But for the most part, these are minor flaws that do not detract from the whole film. I still left this movie very much happy. The cinematography is beautiful. There's something precise about the way Christian Wolff is shot that really exemplifies his character perfectly. Each shot that has Christian Wolff in his house especially is very meticulously planned, and I love how it portrays this kind of perfect life that he's trying to build himself, that slowly then deteriorates as the film goes on, and he's trying to figure out how to be able to finish this task that he cannot stop. And that is all due to the brilliant directing of Gavin O'Connor, who directs the shit out of this film, not in terms of just the information and dialogue he's able to give out in very interesting ways, but also the action, really hard knuckles. There's not a lot of action, but whenever it's there, it is brutal and it is grisly at times. Like a lot of the shootouts, especially at the end, really did earned that R rating and were really fun to watch. I love a lot of the action here in this movie. All in all, The Accountant, I think, is a pretty underrated action film, though I don't know if I would call it an action film, but more of a thriller. It has a lot of action segments here, but its main focus is on information and what the mission is. And I think for the most part, this film was able to explore the character of Christian Wolff really well and have us care about him as a character enough, be able to go along with the story. And despite a few flaws here and there with the pacing and the ending of its believability, I think for the most part this film is fantastic and I would highly recommend it. I'm going to give The Accountant an A-. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.